Little friend, let's watch the sky together, shall we?
No!
It's game over for both of you.
No. Just for me. I'm bad, and that's good. I will never be good, and that's not bad. There's no one I'd rather be than me.
Why are you going into the law? No, go into the law.
Good afternoon. It is 12 July 2023, and I am going to stop that screen. Okay, share a different screen. Someday I'm going to have somebody doing all this for me. Who am I joking? Of course I'm not. Chat is unusually quiet today. Normally there's Ozzy been here by now at least. So did I not send out notifications again? Done that before. Either way, welcome to the shit show. I mean, the Mandatory Carry live stream. All right. There's good news and there's bad news. Let's start with bad news. Get it done and over with. First of all, yes, I am drinking a Budweiser. Yeah, I would never drink Bud Light before that shit storm happened, and yeah, I'm not going to start now. Hello, Walter. Yeah, I wouldn't have drank it before, and I'm not going to drink it now, and I'm not going to stop drinking Budweiser just because of the shit storm. All right. So, yeah. If that's the problem, eat shit. I also tried Corona after that shitstorm started, and when I found out that I'd been lied to, I was pretty upset. On the other hand, it was really, really effective because I would never have tried Corona otherwise. It's okay. I don't have a problem with it. All right. So if that's a problem, well, it's your problem, not mine. It is what it is, folks. That leads to the rest of the bad news. You apologize to people you insulted, not people that made you look like a fucking fool. No, I'm actually not talking about Dylan here. I'm talking about that. What the hell was her name? That director of marketing who made the entire company look like a fucking fool. Yeah, her. She should be apologizing to literally everyone in sight. It's gotten to be so bad that another uninvolved company had to shut down for lack of business. Uh-oh. That sucks. Walter says, try youngling. First of all, that's not the correct spelling. Second of all, Papa Carey just brought me 2 12-packs. I would be drinking those right now, except this issue came up literally earlier today. You want to not drink Bud Light that because of the scandal? Yeah, okay, I get it. Don't take it out on everybody else just because 2 people in this universe are fucktarded jackasses. Fucktarded jackasses. One's a grifter and the other, well, actually, she's a grifter of a different sort. She's a high-quality grifter who got burned by her grift. I said her, I meant her. If I was talking about Dylan, I'd have said he and him. The one rule of this channel, never fucking lie to me. Well, I'm glad you're not bothered by that, Walt, because neither am I. Okay. Well, that's fine. My spelling 6'2". And if you can translate that into English, good for you. Did better than I can. Moving on. So, yeah, enough with the hate, people. All right. The joke's gone far enough. It went far enough when people who aren't involved started getting fucked for the difference. Okay, that's it. That's all I'm going to say about that. And I'm going to get into the real subjects. First and foremost, I have been watching with ever increasing trepidation events in France. Yeah, I'm not going to replay the videos. I don't want to fight with my screen share function. I don't want to fight with my screen share function today, but obviously what's going on in France is very, I mean, if it's not concerning to you, you're fucking retarded, and that's okay. All right. But you need to own it for what it is. I'm going to describe the video that I've seen. One was what appeared to be late to mid-afternoon, say 1800-ish Paris time. And this was Paris, by the way. The capital of France. France being the biggest gun control or gun-free zone that I know of in the world. Okay. People are milling around in the middle of what looks like a Roman era street. It's a pretty tight road, but it's too wide to be called an alley by any sense of the word. So, okay. They're animated and agitated. It's a protest, which, you know, a riot in Paris is a day ending in Y. But protest, riot, patata, whatever. It's pretty obvious they're protesting something. It's a day ending in Y. When off in the gunshots, you hear the distance. No, off in the distance, you hear gunshots. We cannot see the shooter in this case, so we cannot actually determine who was shooting and why. It was a rather loud report. This could have been French gendarmes. A gendarme is a unique subset of military and police at the same time, of which France has. They actually have designated gendarme units. And as I said, they are both police and military at the same time. to put down major uprisings, revolts, rebellions, tumults, riots, blah, 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 fill in the blanks. They could have been firing tear gas into the crowd. I have no way of knowing. What I do know, however, is there's other videos that are pretty fucking explicit. One of them is, and you can see you can see the buildings. You can tell this is actually Paris. Paris has a very je ne sais quoi. When I'm using French words, you know it's a bad sign. It's a very je ne sais quoi architecture. It's because Franc tribesmen took the old Roman buildings, took them over when the Romans went away, and Franked them. That's FR, Foxtrot Romeo Alpha November Charlie. All right, that's the tribe that was native to the region that the Romans enslaved. Just be honest here. That was slavery by a different word. Hey, Bernie. Anyway, it's two guys with AK-47s, and I'm not sure that they were semi-auto. The first part of it goes really, really quick, and the far one in particular, actually, it sounded like an automatic for a second. I know it's just a second. I know I could be wrong, but goddamn, it did sound like an automatic. And if you know AK-47s and M16s, and just about every other selective fire weapon on Earth, you know that when they're firing in automatic mode, it really just does sound different. There's just that distinct difference between the automatic mode and the semi-auto mode. Okay, I got to catch up on the chat. Walter, privilege tax? What the hell's a business privilege tax? Well, you and I are going to have to talk later because that sounds like you just made a word up on the fly, and I know you didn't. And I'm kind of mad. The worst part, folks, is I know he's not lying. That's the part. Moving on. Hi, Bernie. Never put down. Oh. Okay. All right. So moving right along. I promised the subject would be about France and 9017, and I am going to get to it in a second. I got to give you the background so you can understand what you're looking at now. For the last 2 weeks, it's 3 weeks, really, but 2 weeks at least, there have been major riots in Paris in particular. Now, the rest of the country has had trouble as well. All right, let's not sit here and fucking blow smoke up each other's ass. Because what's the big rule of the channel? Never fucking lie to me, right? So I can't fucking lie to you either. But nothing even conceptually like what Paris is dealing with again, because it's a day ended in Y. Right. 9017 is actually deeply in my TNA belief that there is going to be a series of mass shootings used as a terror attack, pure terror attack, right? Well, the two assholes with the AK-47s sure as shit scared the hell out of a lot of people. Is it a true terror attack? Depends on your definition of a terror attack. They definitely made sure everybody knew they had guns. You know, in the middle of the capital of the world's biggest gun-free zone. A little bit about the history of that gun-free zone. just after World War II, communist terrorists, and yes, that was a thing, were trying to upend all of Europe and set it back ablaze, just like they had done 20 years earlier when they were Nazi sympathizers. Yes, that is what I just said. The same people who in the 1950s and 60s were communist sympathizers and terrorists, 20 years earlier had been Nazi terrorists and sympathizers. The reason why Nazi Germany was able to roll through France in, I think it was 3 weeks, culminating finally at the Dunkirk, beachhead at Dunkirk, was because they had a lot of people inside of France that liked them very, very much and did not like the current French government, like at all. As not de Gaulle, not de Gaulle, the French president at the time, that fat, smelly piece of shit. I'm being generous here. That fat, smelly piece of shit. What was his name? God damn it, I need Boa right now. Anyway, as they were fleeing the country, there were actually partisan attacks on their escape route, trying to force them to stay because they wanted these people handed over to the Germans. I'm not fucking joking. At least one windshield was blown out, and one of the drivers was injured but not killed. Well, let me rephrase that. The vehicle did not wreck. The vehicle's windshield was blown out. The vehicle did not wreck. So if he was killed, he made it a little bit of distance before he died. Okay. I'm going to come back to this in a moment. Walt says, I know those weapons. They can be fired pretty fast. You can fire faster in a semi-auto mode if you know how than you can in an automatic mode. But they still have a very distinctly different sound. It is that sound. It is really specific. And by the way, he's not wrong. He is not wrong at all. I do not know. I have never done that. I know the concept of how to do it. I've never done it. Gee, does that sound familiar, anybody? Although, to be fair, Antifa learned it. Antifa in the United States learned it from Antifa in Europe, which is just the new fascists. They literally are black shirts. For those of you that don't know, the squadriste, bear with me a second. The squadristry were Benito Mussolini's street thugs. And they were called the black shirts. No, David, history does not rhyme. It actually repeats sometimes. There's actually a reason why black becomes the go-to color of terrorist groups. It's a whole psychology issue that I should leave to a psychologist. Somebody in the chat remind me, is a psychologist or a psychiatrist the medical doctor? Because I want the one that's not the medical doctor this time. And I'm thinking about it, and I think actually that the word I want is psychologist. Psychologist. But you know what? Oh, God damn that guy. Oh, my God. All right, where was I? Oh, yeah. Anyway, moving right along. Okay. How does what's going on in France play into 9017? First of all, I'm not convinced that it is 9017 yet. There's been shootings, all right? But there's no report. There's no report yet of a mass shooting in Paris or anywhere else in France. You know, the world's biggest gun-free zone. I'm going to keep harping on this, people. I'm going to fucking beat this horse so dead that my arms are broken because I snap them in the process, and I don't care. It doesn't bother me in the least. All right? France is the world's biggest gun-free zone, and now actual terrorists have automatic weapons. Gee, how the fuck did that happen? Oh, right. World War II ends. Communist agitators start stockpiling weapons. So France and Britain and Germany, Italy, and a few others thought that they had a great idea. They were going to ban all the guns, make it a crime to own them. And you had something like a year or a year and a half to turn them all in. And, oh, yep, you're fine. Thank you for your MP44 or your Sten gun or whatever. You're free to go. Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Well, that's not what can happen. And, you know, there's actually op-eds, letters to the editor from that era of people saying, this isn't going to work the way you think it is. They'll still have guns. The commies, specifically, the commies will still have guns. That's what appeared. I am told that the translation of the letter to the editor from the Parisian newspaper, was it Paris? Might have been a different city. Work with me here. Actually comes out and says, this isn't going to work the way you think it will. The commies will still have their guns. Hold on to that thought, Walt. Flash forward to 2 weeks ago, and what happened? We're now having acts of terror committed with actual assault weapons in France, where they're supposed to not exist, but they do. Now, is it plausible that they're all home builds? Sure, that's completely plausible. And my ears are not good enough to tell the difference between a semi-auto to auto only conversion and a purpose-built selective. Right? I'm not that good. I'm sure there are people who are not watching right now who have fired AK-47s enough to know that sound, that's a illegal conversion. That sound, that's a legal conversion. That one, no, that was a purpose-built, factory-built selective. Oh, Bernie, that's mean. That's a mean thing to say, Bernie. All right. moving right along. That was the theory. The theory fucking failed. The last time I could look at the world in the eye and say, your theory fucking failed, was in 1999. April of 1999. Anybody want to take a guess what happened? Here's a clue. High school. Okay. All right. Walter says, the immigrants burning down France. Well, flag on the play. They're not doing it by themselves. Antifa is definitely giving them a whole lot of help. I legitimately wonder if it's the immigrants burning it down or if it's Antifa burning it down with help from the immigrants. You know, like they did here in the United States in 2020. Yes, BLM came out and marched and started shit. We needed you a minute ago, Ozzy. But Antifa really was leading the charge. All right. Then they took over police stations and grabbed real M16s and FAL rifles. Okay. I'm absolutely throwing a flag on the M16s. They don't have M16s in France. They have FAMAS. They have FAMAS. FALs, we're going to throw a caution flag on that one. I want you to go back and be sure it was FALs and not FAMASs, because I thought the FALs were out of service. But hey, it could be. It could have been FALs. I thought those were gone. Oh, by the way, folks, that's an example of that gendarmes thing. So he's not wrong. They have guns. Okay, I'm catching up on the chat. Okay, totally understood. But I'm going to get you the proper prescription symbol because it is a Unicode. All right, so it is France right now, 9017 at work. Probably not. Probably not. But I goddamn guarantee you that they are watching the situation and saying, this is how they react when we do that. Or this is how they react when that sort of thing happens. Keep that noted. I want to see it. Seeing as how a 308 is longer than an M16's Magwell, I want to see it. I think they've given up on that fight for a while. Well, matter of fact, I'm pretty sure they don't want California back now. Ambivalent about New Mexico and Arizona. And Texas, yeah, they might want part of that back, but not the whole thing. Although, in Walt's complete defense, what was it? During World War I, Germany's foreign ministers Herman? I can't remember his first name. Foreign Minister Zimmerman sent a cable to Mexico offering them assistance in reclaiming the southwest of the United States if Mexico would initiate, launch, whatever the fuck you want to call it, declare war on the United States to keep us out of the European war. They didn't even care if we lost or if we won a war with Mexico. They just wanted us not getting involved in Europe. If we stayed out of Europe, it's good enough. Oh, by the way, that was a big, big mistake. Okay. First of all, I've never heard of anybody being shamed for the 5.56, but the U.S. is starting to veer away from the 5.56 because it's not going to be doing the job for much longer. I would not trust what a Serbian tells me about guns. All right. Now, I do know there's the AR-10, if that's what you're talking about. That was what the AR-15 and thence the M16 were derived from. That might be what you're talking about. And that is a 308 rifle. Be sure you're keeping your models straight. Moving on. What's going on in France right now appears to just be hoods robbing rather than terrorists trying to change social structures. For now. If you have half a brain in your head, you should be very, very concerned and alarmed about what's going on with France right now, because it's getting worse, not better. And if it keeps going like it is, in about a month's time, we're going to see civil war, outright civil war, which the only good side to that, or good part to that, is that most likely it'll overwhelm the resources of the people that want that civil war to happen. In his treatise on statesmanship, Niccolo Machiavelli said there is never a lack of foreign powers that will help your weaker factions. Now, of course, that's not an exact quote. I totally butchered it. But I can tell you that it's in chapter 20, I believe it's paragraph 3, where he specifically talks about whether or not you should keep or destroy fortresses. Oh. Uh-oh. Kerry might know what he's talking about. If he can actually tell you it's chapter 20 and I think paragraph 3, might be a little bit on the easy side to find. You know what? I'm even going to do y'all. I'm going to read this the way I understand it. Walt is saying the French FAL and the rifle before it were all TR rechambered for 308. And if that is what he's actually saying, no, they weren't. They were always 308. Like before they even got done with the prototypes. All right. Favorites. Uh-oh. Search favorites. GUT. Oh. I wish you guys could see what I was seeing here. That's 21. There we go. Paragraph 6. Banners. Oh, damn it. I forgot to put the ticker up. And I'm going to create a banner now, because watch this. And show. So, guys, you are just going to have to copy that down on your own. This way, it'll last after after we love you, Susan, you cunt nukes the channel. Unlike some people, I make sure to try to keep a record of everything. And into comments we go. I know there's another comment in there. And if you want to take a look, guys, there's the link. Uh-oh. Carrie really does know what he's talking about. Matter of fact, I'm going to let you all know. Well, I'll make it quick, though. I'll let you all in on a secret. I read the prints looking for a specific quote. It's not in there. As a matter of fact, with the overall tone of Machiavelli's writing, I would say that not only did he not say that, but he would never have said that, and he did say literally the exact opposite. I could almost quote it from memory, but not bad. Not quite. Anyway, you should be very, very concerned about oh, hi Macy, sorry. I did see you come in. You should be, because I think within about 6 months we are going to see full scale civil war in France. Well, as Walt has pointed out, they have taken over police stations. I didn't realize they got guns in the process because they smuggled them in. They had already smuggled in AK-47s. Macy gonna... Yeah, wait a minute. I love this. Why can't we just terrorize the terrorists? This country can nuke the crap out of every terrorist state on the planet. Why can't we do that? Anyway, sorry, I get it, Mace. Actually, elsewhere in that same chapter, Machiavelli talks about how the Romans would fight these Philip and somebody else. They could have fought them in Italy, but this they did not want to do, and instead fought them on their own home turf. I'm just saying. Okay. And yeah, well, the worst is coming there, Walt, and of course it is. I'm ready. Fuck it. I am 99% ready. The 1% that I am not ready is the part that I need help on, and it is what it is. I mean, that's not going to happen, it looks like, at least not in my lifetime. I think you meant uncontrolled immigration. Well, Okay, I'm up to speed. If they can even create enough trouble in France that it explodes to the level I'm thinking of, which is the modern version of a civil war, terror attacks, bombings, right? Roadside bombings, car bombings, suicide car bombings. It will spread to the rest of Europe. I give it 3 months before there's attacks in Germany, Italy, well, basically everywhere except Poland and Switzerland, because Poland isn't letting anybody in. Walt's not wrong there. He's not wrong. And Switzerland, literally everybody's got a gun. I'm not even joking. All right. I know they say that the U.S. per capita has more guns than any country on earth. No. Switzerland, literally half the country has, literally half the country is in the national, their equivalent to the National Guard. So literally half the country has assault weapons or machine guns. Uh-oh. There's that problem. The other half have semi-automatic or bolt action, sometimes lever action, a lot of straight pull bolt action, by the way. I love those straight pull bolt actions, and okay, I get it. They are armed to a level that can only be seen in a few cities in the United States. The United States, what we have is about a quarter of the country that have 3, 4, 5 guns or more, much, much more. You know, Brandon Herrera is all by himself, keeping us in that number 1 spot. In Switzerland, literally half the country have guns. It is that simple. Have state issued assault weapons. It is that simple. You cannot go down a city street in Switzerland, knock on any given door, and have nobody in the house has anything. Oh, and by the way, in Switzerland, you walk into a restaurant, you can hang your gun up on a coat rack, well, gun rack, by the front door, just like you would your coat. Nobody will touch it. It's a cultural thing. Okay. I have no idea what Ozzy and Walt are talking about in together. I must be missing something somewhere. No, I'm not missing something. That's a curious thing. But okay. I think we need to really be worried about what's going on there. We may have to liberate the fuck out of France here again pretty soon. This is how World War II started. As far as France goes, at least. This is how World War II started. And it's starting again. Okay. Well, I like you better already. Okay. I think I've beaten this horse dead enough for the moment. Of course, I'll beat it again later, because I get bored. And I get rambly. What's a little shit show without some rambling? Congratulations, Mama Davis. Of course, that means you're about my age, actually, because that's about how old Dad is. Okay. Okay. Where are we? 46 minutes. Wow. That rant only took me 46 minutes. Moving on. All right. This has also come to my attention. I really wish Wasp was here to hear me say this. Warsaw Patriot brought to my attention that the title read gun owners get doxxed, basically. Right. I almost decided not to follow up on it because it seemed like this an issue I already knew about. Well, I'm glad I changed my mind. Because, well, I'm glad I had a couple minutes and some boredom to follow up. Because it turns out that Everytown for gun control, you know, the second biggest grifters in the game, literally have some sort of national index of every gun owner. Besides the fact that that's patently illegal. And how did you get that information? That's also patently illegal. Is I don't even know what the hell you were thinking, you dumb bitches. Like, in what world did it make sense to you to put a big fat bullseye on people and say, oh yeah, go rob this house, go rob that house, go rob this other house, they got guns? It's not going to deter a thief. They'll just go and get a gun of their own and then walk in the house and start shooting everybody. But you seem to think that it was a really great notion to literally put that information up for everybody. So I got a question for you. Mikey, that's Michael Bloomberg. What if we put up a map that showed every house that doesn't have guns and therefore can't stand up to a home invasion robbery by people with guns? Oh, wait. Your house wouldn't be on that list because you have armed security. And while your house doesn't have guns, your armed security do. Damn. Oh, I'm very sorry, Walter. Oh, I will say a prayer for your mom. It's called ambush, right? Y'all notice I won't talk about my real name. Well, for now. I have Papa Carrie to think about. I have my kids to think about. Now, my kids are kind of safe. They're in a whole nother state. And if you want to go backtracking to figure out how to find them, well, you could do it. It's not actually that hard. Somebody tried to identify me once, and he actually did get a name I know. All right. I was smart. Said, "Oh no! I've never heard that name before in my life." Well, yeah, actually, I had heard that name before in my life. All right. And at this point, I'm not even going to say who this individual was or what the relationship was. But I realized he kind of had the right guy, right? But there's another reason. In 2004, okay, it was before A School, but after Rio. Somewhere in 2003 or 4, a a certain gentleman said that he wanted to fight me on the internet. Now, we all know, yes, Edgar, we all know what I want to fight you on the internet means. Um, fight me, fool, right? But I, being the way I am, went from a 2 or a 3 to a 22, and they're calling the cops. Oh, by the way, the cops were actually involved. I sent him my home address and told him the best times to find me there. He didn't respond very well to that. He actually did show up. It was just a pushing match, no actual blows exchanged, but the moment he showed them how he found me, I was in just as much trouble as he was, because they called that lying in wait. Now, the Sacramento Police Department, by the way, decided to go ahead and not press charges against me for that, or not file charges against me for that, because it was my home. All right. And they were also taking his guy. You know what? This guy says he wants to fight you. You told him exactly when and how to find you. He's not the victim either. Fuck this guy. Right? Fuck that guy, rather. But they warned me if I ever did that again that they would file a lying in wait enhancement to whatever it was I did, whatever it was that happened. Okay, I can take a hint. Sometimes it's a little hard to get it through my head. I can really take a hint when you say lying in wait enhancement. Those are very clear words that aren't hard to misunderstand. So until I know I'm totally flying for myself, I got to be a little bit on the careful side. Where was I going with this? Oh, right. Michael Bloomberg. You are guilty of a lying in wait enhancement on anything that happens at your home, because you have a big sign on it that says this house isn't armed, even though it is. I'm just going to wait until this actually gets that next step, where somebody tries to burglarize or home invasion robbery, or burglarize or rob your home. It's not the same thing. And the moment I hear about that, motherfucker, I swear to God, I'm going to be on phone with the DA for your county, swearing out a criminal complaint that you created this situation deliberately. I would love to see you prove otherwise. That'll be an interesting experience for you, won't it? See how that double-edged sword just came back to hit them all in the head? One illegal act has become now 4 illegal acts, lying in wait. The first illegal act was publishing personal information, because I goddamn guarantee you, if he published information on, say, rape victims, he'd be sitting in county jail already. So why is he allowed to publish information for people who are not criminals and not involved in a crime in any way, shape, or form? If you think I'm joking, go ahead and Google that. There are people who have gone to jail and been fined thousands of dollars. To the best of my knowledge, no felonies, but a lot of really serious misdemeanors and even some wobblers, where because this dumb motherfucker was smart for the first time in his life, decided not to fight the free speech First Amendment battle, didn't go to prison. Yes, there is limitations on your free speech. Publishing the names and addresses of rape victims, definitely not on the list of things you can do. And the amazing part is, this actually had to be said out loud. Like, how did we get here? We're moving right along. Excuse me, guys. Just want to make sure of something. Sometimes the chat gets jammed up momentarily, and sometimes it does not. Okay. Right. Where was I? Oh, yes. Publishing personal information of people who have not committed crimes is always frowned upon. And the moment somebody gets hurt, believe me, I'm just waiting to hear it happen at this point. How bad is bad? Bad is a lot worse than you think. It's probably a lot worse than you can imagine. This is murder in the first degree. At least what's going on in France is only murder in the second degree so far. Shooting guns randomly up into the air, what goes up eventually comes down, and at a faster rate than it went up at. But it wasn't actually pointed at anybody in particular, just sort of the world in general. Fuck you. This was fuck yous pointed at particular people. What Bloomberg did, what Everytown did, was pointed at specific people. Okay. All right. I'm going to move on to the next subject. It says, why do I hate 2A organizations? Well, I actually was thinking about it while I was at work today. I fucking hate all of the organizations. Give me a second. I want to check something. I can't read with my glasses on. Believe it or not, folks, I need bifocals. Yeah, I just said that out loud. Okay. All right, I think that'll do. First of all, when I say 2A organizations, you know what? I mean both sides. The pro 2A and the gun control side. All they want is your money. They are not going to do anything for you. Ever. If you have $1 million, they might turn your call. That's not a guarantee. Right now, not even kidding, I have an email from Everytown. Of all fucking people, I still get emails from Everytown. I'm going to read the part of this out loud. 2, 3, 4. I survived the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history. Now I mentor other survivors of gun violence. Yes, this one. In October 2017, I was in my hotel in Las Vegas at a music festival when 2 doors down, a gunman opened fire on the crowd below. So you weren't in the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history. And by the way, what's the measure of modern? Let's see, what was the body count for the Route 97? Route 97. Nope, it wasn't that. Okay, no problem. I gotta. Motherfucker, go away. I know I downloaded that. Las Vegas. Route 91. Route 91. I goddamn guarantee you Columbine had a much higher body count. Oh. Maybe not. 61 is pretty good. That's actually a legitimate return on his investment. Jesus, was that really 24 years ago? Okay, only 15 killed. Only. All right. Great, good for you. You beat Columbine's record. Congratulations. I'm still throwing a bullshit flag because goddamn guarantee there's going to be something else. But no, you weren't in the shooting. You were 2 doors down. And by the way, I just don't believe the story to begin with. It's as simple as that. Anyway, all of them will take your money and they will not even bother to return a phone call. They will not open a certified letter. They will not even acknowledge that they received a email until you publicly shame them. Right now, I'm dealing with that with another pro 2A group. I embarrassed them in front of the entire fucking world. Finally, all of a sudden, they said, "Oh, you tried to reach us? Well, how?" "I used the email on your website." "Oh, well, you know what? Try looking in your spam folder." "You're right. It was in our spam." Okay, so emails that come to your publicly announced email address, the one you tell the entire fucking world to use, can go to spam. That's like having your phone on forwarding to a voicemail you never check. Speaking of which, now a month later after they finally acknowledged, yes, we've got this email, I still haven't heard back from them. Not a word. It's almost as if it didn't happen. Because while individuals who you know their name and they know your name, or at least your professional names, may be willing to respond, and treat you seriously, right? Organizations don't give a fuck. They just want the money. Mom's Demand does not give a fuck. Well, actually, Mom's Demand would be out of business if gun control actually ever did happen. They'd have to find some new grift. That's not the best position for them to be in. Gun rights advocates, I use air quotes, don't actually want gun right laws passed, because that would end their gravy train. Pretty much. At least if the Second Amendment got repealed, Mom's Demand would have something. There would be another unicorn to go after. They have that. They really do not want the Second Amendment repealed at all. That scares the shit out of them. Versus gun rights groups, they don't actually want an end to the battles that they're fighting because that's their bread and butter. And 99% of the people just give them the money and don't ask for anything. Gets worse though. More recently, I flat out said that, a gun rights group said, "Oh, you should give money to ABC because they're fighting the battle." Like I haven't heard this one before. I said, give them money again? No, not going to hard pass. Thanks. No. Well, why not? Why won't you support the fight? Because I did before, and they couldn't be bothered to return a message. Well, you wanted a favor out of them. You wanted a favor out of them. No. And I want to emphasize this next part. I did not ask ABC for a favor. All right. First of all, the first round was just, hey, can you give me somebody to turn to? All right. They didn't have to do anything. They could have done exactly what Second Amendment Foundation did, which was open up their Google, look up 2A attorneys in Colorado. It was outside the Denver area, let's put it that way, and then forward me that information. If I had realized that this wasn't people that they dealt with on a regular basis, let me rephrase that. Because it came from them, I assumed it was people they dealt with on a regular basis. When I walked up to that first attorney's office, the address of that first attorney, I'm looking around and where the hell is this address? There's a Radio Shack across the street that's open, and flower store at where this address should be. It must be in this building somewhere. What the hell's going on here? It's almost hey Squatch. It's almost 10:00 on a Tuesday morning. There should be somebody here. I went across the street to the Radio Shack. I asked them, what's up with this address? Actually, I asked Lee, what's the address here first? It's 123 Hunter Bus, 2839 Hunter Bus, whatever the hell the address was. Well, I'm looking for 2840 Hunter Bus. Oh, who are you looking for, dear? I want to say the lady behind the lady at the Radio Shack. Very polite, very, very professional, very nice. even. And when I told her who I was looking for, she gave me this look of what is it? Motherly dissatisfaction, disapproval. Right. When I told her the name of the man I was looking for, she said, "Oh, you didn't hear. You haven't heard, have you?" Heard what? About 3 years ago, or maybe it was 2 years ago, I can't remember what she said now. He was in a property dispute with a oh no, I know where this story is going. Neighbor, and well, a shot rang out, and he ended up dead. He's been dead about 3 years now. Motherfucker. Best part about that is about 2 hours later, because I walked there, and it took about 2 hours to walk from home to that address. I stopped at the gas station and talked to the clerk. Nice guy. I just liked him, okay? So it was worth stopping for that. But walking home, I walk home 2 hours later when I got there, I did Google search for 2A attorneys in my town near Denver. There was this guy's name. It's still listed on Google as an active 2A attorney. That pissed me off. They couldn't even be bothered to make sure that they gave me a name of somebody who was still fucking alive. Hadn't been sniped on his own back porch, I think is what she said, 2.5 years earlier. It's not just the 2A organizations. If you've never heard of WinRed, I'm going to drop this in the chat. Yeah, that should be the right one. All right. Do not, under any circumstances, contact them. Do not, under any circumstances, contact them or their counterpart, Win Blue. Oh, 2.5 years ago, I donated $20 to one of the campaigns that they were helping, because I actually liked the person behind the campaign, who did not win, by the way. Just today, let me take a look. Close that, or minimize that. Oh, there it is. No, that one was. I have 8 text messages that could only have come from WinRed. They have sold my information at least 8 times. That's not even the email address or emails that I got. I don't even want to know. Patriot, we haven't heard from you. We are disappointed at Patriot that we have not heard from you. No, you're not going to hear from me. What part of piss off do you people not pay attention to? Well, we paid 0.02 of a cent for your contact information, so we expect to get that 0.02 of a cent back. I want to point out, Win Blue, their Democrat counterpart, can't be any better. I've heard it from Zed's fucked up leftist buddies that they're getting tired of hearing from Wind Blue. You cannot trust an organization because it's a whole bunch of people with their own agendas doing whatever the fuck they want. And if their agenda is to collect a paycheck and go home, that is exactly what they will do. ABC and CDF are two 2A organizations. These are fictional names, but they're based on real organizations. Let's see. ABC, I reached out to them about my amicus in 2016. Not 2017. 2016. Now, it was very, very late in 2016. And let's all be really honest here. I sent it to them expecting that they would get back to me. So I just sort of blew it off. Hey, they'll get back to me when they get back to me. I remember, as I said the first time around, I just needed an attorney. Please send me to the attorney. These are the guys that sent me to the address of somebody who was dead. Oh, okay, thanks. I turned around, I contacted him again in 2017 and said, this is my situation. Here's exactly what I want to say. Can you help me out? It is now 2023. When I called them out publicly is the one when the other group, not CDF, but a third group entirely said, oh, well, they're doing you a favor. No, they're not. I said I would pay them. When I made the offer to pay them, I didn't realize we were talking about $20,000 just in printing fees. But I still did make it very clear that I wanted to pay them. CDF, on the other hand, I started out by calling them and asking them where I would send this same information. They said, oh, well, yeah, you can reach us on our website. Okay. I reached out through their website, did not get a response. After 2 weeks, I called them back up and said, do you have a snail mail address? Oh, yes, we have a snail mail address. Here's the information. Okay, great. Sent one letter. No response. I was also sending the letters to ABC during the same time frame. No response. I sent a certified letter. You know, the kind, well, actually, I think it was an overnight letter. You know, the kind that gets signed for. It got signed for. They got it. Okay, great. They've got it. That was 2019. No, that was 2018. Hey, DJ. You're just a couple minutes too late to hear me really rant about 2A organizations. But you're going to get to hear the close of it. All right, so that was 2018. 2019, just before the shit started to hit the fan, and the shit was flying through the air on COVID, but it hadn't hit. I'd heard strange rumblings from Ozzy. Watch yourself. DJ is a friend of ours. Right? Yeah, DJ has a wrench. Where was I? Oh, I started hearing strange rumblings out of China about something going on. Right? I actually called ABC to try to talk to somebody to hand walk this thing in. Couldn't even be bothered to give a straight answer. They will always take your money. They will never, ever take you seriously. Okay, Oz, I didn't realize it was a joke. You guys, you got to understand, I'm a little bit spurg. All right. Just a little bit. Sometimes I take it literally when it's not meant that way. So, where was I? In summation, all organizations suck because they will not give you the time of day. They will only give you a receipt for the money that you gave them. All right. I think I'm done with that rant for a little while. For a week at least. I ought to just send them timestamp for this section. I can reach them very easily and say, yeah, motherfuckers, I'm actually talking about you. Okay, this is the part where we're going to stop the chat for a few minutes because I got to show you something else. And you're not going to be able to read this. And that's okay. I should break it up into sections, and maybe someday I'll get around to that. Right. Now I can already feel everybody saying, hey, dumbass, we can't read this. You're right. You can't read it. I'm not even going to ask you to try. I am going to read it out loud. Title 3. I've been promising this for like 3 weeks now. Title 3 definitions, general definitions. Firearm, any weapon that launches one or more projectiles or energy driven by the action of an explosive or energizing force. Okay, this should cover everything in the universe. And God knows somebody's going to find something that gets around that definition. Pistol and handgun. Any firearm without a stock intended to be operated by one hand. Long arm. Any firearm with a stock or intended to be fired from the shoulder for which the barrel shall be 12 inches in length or greater and overall length of 20 inches or greater. Those two numbers were actually established by the U.S. Army via the M5 assault rifle. I figure if this is the line, I think it was 12 inches that they're working with. If 12 inches is their idea of a standard, a carbine barrel length, okay, good. We're going to go with that number. Shotgun, any smoothbore firearm intended to discharge a number of smaller projectiles for which the barrel shall be 12 inches in length or greater and overall length of 20 inches or greater in the configuration as used. So the only thing that actually changed there was smoothbore, rifled, possibly. Multiple projectiles, one projectile. If you're firing slugs, is it still a shotgun? I don't know. Maybe not. If you're firing frag 12s, is it still a shotgun? I don't know. Maybe not. Assault weapon. Any firearm fed by a magazine detachable without the use of tools, capable of discharging by design alone 2 or more rounds per singular trigger activation. Okay, this is a very fucking complicated way of saying automatic and or burst fire. Machine gun, any firearm fed by a continuous feed system. Someday we will have laser rifles. And if you have one that is designed to plug in to an outlet in your house, guess what? That's a machine gun now. Autocannon, any machine gun of 50 caliber, 12.6 by 99 millimeter or larger. That's actually being reconsidered because the Barrett 82. Somebody pointed out to me the Barrett 82 is a 50 cal, and one man can shoot it. Okay, that's a good point. Maybe we do need to reconsider that. Rotary gun, any rotary multi-barrel machine gun, regardless of caliber. Regardless of caliber, it doesn't matter. It also doesn't matter the feed system. It's not there. It's just rotary multi-barrel. That's it. Oh, well, actually, I guess it does matter because it says machine gun. Might have to adjust that because when I wrote this, those fancy toys, those fancy toy guns that use Gatlins that use Glock mags weren't out yet. All other weapons, any firearm that does not match a classification herein contained shall require an all other weapons permit and registration. Such permits shall be issued upon the completion of a standard NCIC background check. That discovery and exclusion, all peace officers shall be issued a class 3 permit without other restrictions. Okay, so you know what? I can see there's a problem there. I've got to go back and fix that. Because all of a sudden, bolt actions and pump action and lever action are all other weapons. I should fix that. I got to fix that. Body armor. Body armor refers to all protective clothing designed to absorb and or deflect attacks by weapons. Other protective gear, personal protective equipment. Any gear or garment worn to protect against contamination, infection, or injury not caused by a weapon. All right. That's on the list because of the bullshit mask mandates that lasted until 2023 for no reason. This is setting the stage for later on when it says, by the way, no, you can't do that again. Excuse me. Handheld. All weapons meant to be held in an average human hand without expelling a projectile or projected energy. Knives, brass knuckles, nunchucks, stick good. Rocks, batteries that you can chuck at people, motherfucking bottles that you could throw, glasses. Man, I don't know how you use my glasses as a weapon, but I don't know. I'm sure there's a way to do it, etc. and so forth. All right. Suppressor or silencer, any device intended to reduce the noise or noises created by any weapon. I should actually fix that. It should read, reduce the noise or noises or alter, reduce or alter. You know what? I'm going to do it on the master copy right now. Or alter. You guys got to watch in real time. If there was a modification made, you just didn't get to see it. Magazine, any device intended for holding of munitions. Magazines of less than 10 round capacity may not be used in long arms except for maintenance and repair purposes using any type of inert round or for storage in an empty status or in regulated competition shooting during an organized event. I refer to 10 round mags for rifles as concealment mags because they're so small that you can hide the rifle better. You dumb fucking bitches. The hell is your major malfunctions? What are your major malfunctions? And please alphabetize them and spell them correctly in case I need to look them up later. Mental retardation is obviously part of the list. Talking about Mom's Demand, Blood Money, Everytown, Violence Policy Center, Josh Sugarman's scam, etc. and so forth. I'd love to know what their major malfunctions are. And I really do want them to alphabetize them because that helps a lot in case your spelling sucks. And preferably spell them correctly so that I can look them up later. Okay. So 10-round mags are actually banned outside your home or at a shop or something, unless it is an organized event. Barrel shroud, any component installed on a firearm or other ranged weapon solely to protect the barrel or like components. To protect the barrel or like components. And only for that purpose. If it has any other purpose on Earth, it is forward stock. Any covering or extension of a firearm or other ranged weapon intended to protect the user from the effects of the weapon, regardless if it protects the weapon or not. All right. No, I'm not going to do that right now. The forestock is a very, very old term. And okay. And there's one more definition in there that needs to come out because it is redundant and repetitive. Space and backspace. All right, so that's the end of the definitions. I cannot give a definition for every fucking weapon on Earth because somebody will come up with a new one just to piss me off. Any items listed here is included under the protections of this act, including restrictions on states' ability to regulate sale. This in no way restricts protections on future types of weapons not listed here because there's going to be something somebody thinks of. It's happened just this year. There's been like 3 new things come out that, oh my God, I never would have thought of that. Or maybe it was over the course of the last couple of years. Right, here's the part that people aren't going to love. Federal government may require enhanced licensing for the ownership of assault weapons and machine guns, limited to, hear me out before you say no, limited to a background check of and recording of owner's name, home address, weapons make, model, and stored location, address, serial number, itemized modifications, and stored location of weapons subject to not more than 3 inspections per year. Federal government is only authorized to charge for processing to actual cost to government based on the average cost of the previous 5 years, with said cost declared publicly in all possible formats. All right. What this means is anybody can walk into a gun store, fill out the form, or go online to ATF or whatever, fill out the form. Whatever it's been costing over the course of the past 5 years, that's what it's average of the last 5 years. That's what they're going to charge you. There's some years when the feds are going to take a little bit of a short. Some years where they're going to get a little bit of a long. These will balance out over time. They can only actually charge you what it costs to process it. There's actually a cost to processing this. It does cost them money. They can recoup that. But that's all they can do. Now here's the part you're going to love. These states, counties, and cities are forbidden to require or ban the use of any PPE, mandatory use of PPE not related to the nature of employment via regulating agencies can only be imposed by the president for a period of 3 months and then extended by Congress on a 2/3 majority vote of both houses for a period of not more than 6 months per vote, and any state governor for a period of 1 month and extended by a vote of 2/3 of both houses of the state legislature, unicameral states, you only got one house. Nothing I can do about that. For a period of 3 months per vote with the acquiescence of Congress. That means Congress can say, no, Maryland, you don't actually have a problem that requires masks at this point. All Congress has to do is not say anything. And the subject's done. Employers and other private parties are forbidden to require or ban PPE under any circumstance. This section does not include the requirement to bear arms. Okay. Might want to go back and reread that. Might want to go back and rewrite that, rather. Stop screen. Present. Share screen. Fuck up. There we go. And I am actually caught up. All right. Elsewhere in the Act, it actually talks about how the states and counties and cities have no legislative authority except the states can set their state concealed carry permit requirements. Okay, that's fine. Relative, and it has to be basically the same as the other 49 states. It also says in a challenge on such requirements, the courts are to rule that the state is more likely to be in error. Cities and counties have zero. They get nothing. The state could give them the authority to collect the fees because that's revenue that cities and counties do need. And okay, I stand corrected. Apparently it is only Nebraska. And you are shit out of luck on that little bit. You only need the state house to approve an extension. Sorry, nothing I can really do about that. Moving on. Cities and counties could collect fees. That's it. I'm sorry. The states, it doesn't actually say that the states can set murder and self-defense requirements. It doesn't actually say they can do that. But yeah, they could do that. That's it. It also says that any state law that in any way impacts this act can only proceed with the acquiescence of Congress. I grew up in California. I know California's self-defense law as it existed as late as 2009. All right. When I left California, you could still open carry. You can't anymore. It's not the point here. Well, actually, that is exactly the point here. Let's go with that. When California decided they were going to change the law so that open carry was banned, if it were after the passage of Datislav mandatory carry, Congress would actually have to approve this law. Congress actually has to say, yes, we agree with California. When they say they're going to ban open carry. Now, for those of you getting excited right now, no. It's open carry bans are explicitly banned elsewhere in Datislav. So you will be able to open carry everywhere in the United States, unless it is a legitimately restricted location. There are 3 of them. And airports is one, total restriction. Don't just let it go. Schools, if armed security is present and secure storage locations are provided. Yeah, the school has actually got to be considered secure, or it's not secure at all. By the way, it doesn't apply to staff. And the other one was, I forgot what the other one was off the top of my head. Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to see it. Either way, any law, when California decided they were going to change the law to ban open carry, Congress would have to turn around and approve it. Okay, but Bill 2131. This is all of the laws that California is passing this year that will affect duty to carry. There's 4 in here that say that are taking crimes, objectively bad acts, slashing tires, and making them felonies. Slashing tires will now be a felony. Okay, we're okay with this. But there's like 2 others that, no, they weren't okay with. All 4 of them are gone now. All 4 of them, slashing tires being a felony is not a felony in California now because they tried to slip something else in there. It's called a rider, folks. And I was not going to, fuck you. You want to play that game? Took your toys away from you. And for those of you that think, oh, that's so terrible that you're making it so that people can slash tires again. No. You can blame states like New Jersey, and California, by the way, where they decided one set of acts, which are objectively bad acts, like deliberately giving people AIDS. That was California, not New Jersey. New Jersey was a different thing about the freeways. Are not going to be felonies anymore, but objectively not bad acts, like traveling on the interstate freeway that goes all the way through the state from what it was Pennsylvania straight through to Vermont. Is it Vermont? I think it's Vermont. And you don't have to get off the freeway anywhere. It's not actually a requirement. You can't carry a gun because you're in New Jersey now, boy. Girl, rather. That's the Shanine Allen case. Oh, yeah, Carrie remembers that. Carrie's still fucking pissed. How long ago was that? I'm pretty sure I heard about it in 2016. You know what? Let's be generous. 2018. All right, so this is 2023. So 5 years later, at least 5 years later, a half fucking decade later, I'm still citing her as an example of abuse, of malicious and deliberate and intentional governmental abuse. Because all she did was get on the freeway in Pennsylvania, drive north, not stop until she was pulled over for something, which, as far as I can tell, she actually did. Speeding ticket? I think it was a speeding ticket. Doesn't even matter. And she wasn't going to Vermont. I'm really sure she was going up to New York, to the beaches in New York. Going to the beach in New York. Whatever. Doesn't even matter. She didn't get off the freeway in New Jersey. She made a mistake on the freeway that is just a money crime and ended up incarcerated in New Jersey for 6 months. She lost her home and her job. Oh, are you catching on? The New Jersey governor, Chris Christie, finally stepped in and said, yeah, no, we're done with this. But that was 6 months later. The damage was done. And if he hadn't have stepped in, she would be in prison now. Okay. You fucked around. Now you're finding out. Now you're going to find out. You want to abuse people because they're not from your state? Fuck you. You don't get to do that either. So they lost everything. No, fuck. What? Okay. Gone a little bit longer than normal. And I tried not to be as boring as normal. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Squatch, are you streaming today? I don't think you do on Wednesdays. Ozzy, I will try to catch you on Discord tonight. I want to talk to you about something you want to talk to me about. And other than that, very welcome, DJ. Thank you for coming, to be honest. And I want to thank those of you that have to watch and replay. Especially the lady from the UK. Okay. I now have my first international fan. I didn't know. In the meantime, 9017 is coming to the United States and it coming much faster to France. So keep calm and mandatory carry and rock. Sorry guys, DJ does that way better than me. Good night.